Some new dietary guidelines were released this month by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Health and Human Services.
With those guidelines comes a new food pyramid. Our Katie Delaney joins us to tell us how Maine nutrition experts are reacting to the changes and what it means for the state. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Leanne and Lee. Now, before we talk about the present, let's blast to the past. Remember this, the first food pyramid was released in 1992. There it is. It shows how much of each food group Americans should eat. This version really emphasizes grains like bread and rice, and then fruits and veggies, and less meat and dairy. Then the USDA launched the My Pyramid in 2005. This was the one in my childhood that we used in school. In 2011, the go-to food guide became My Plate, showing how much of different foods you should have on your plate. And that takes us to today, 15 years later, a return to the pyramid, but inverted, while flipping around a lot of the food recommendations too. It puts meat and dairy on top as healthy diet priorities, while previous models ranked these foods lower. Fruit and vegetables stay up high, with whole grains lower on the pyramid. The message of the new model and guidelines from the USDA is eat real food. Officials recommend avoiding highly processed foods like cookies and chips. They also encourage full-fat dairy items and about double the recommended portion of daily protein. I spoke with Michelle Polachek, a professor of public health at the University of New England. She said there are some guideline changes she thinks are positive, but has some concerns about putting red meat and other foods with saturated fats at the top of the pyramid.
Americans already eat too much saturated fat and will put them at risk for chronic conditions such as heart disease. What I'm more happy about in these guidelines is the emphasis on real food, whole foods, and less processed foods.
Looking at what this guidance will mean here in Maine, the primary thing the new recommendations impact is school lunches. They're used to form the National School Lunch Program meal pattern, the guide for what's served in schools. Polachek says that schools could end up serving more meat and dairy and less ultra-processed foods. She says making more food from scratch would be hard for schools, though, because a lot of them don't have enough equipment or personnel to do that right now. The Maine Department of Education says it's awaiting further guidance from the USDA and that any changes would not take effect until the 2027-28 school year. I'm Katie Delaney, News Center, Maine.